might not necessarily be. I might not necessarily be the best in terms of like on the floor defense, but I can play post defense and I can box out and rebound. I gotta do what I can do that's a part of my game to make me win. And so if I'm a shooter, I'm gonna shoot. I don't give damn Jordan. I don't give a damn who on the court, bro. I'm shooting. Hey man, listen.
I got a story. I got a story for that.
Listen, man. Ooh. And that's the one thing I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be quiet. I've been on the floor with guys that were D1 players, right? And we used to go to the University of Maryland and play sometimes because my man Pat, cousin Sid, went to Maryland. And so they would have open runs out there at Bird. And man, I was out there with this cat from American. Man, that man was 7 foot. Man, he was long as hell. And I couldn't necessarily, okay, I can't play down low with this dude. But I was at the top of the key. And at points in times, I was taking jump shots. He ain't never blocked my shot. You know what? Because I looked at his size and I was like, listen, I got to compensate. If you think the game, you going to win. I give Embiid this quick. I give Embiid this. He thinks the game differently. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think it's besides Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, I don't think there's a defensive center that could defend a king. I don't think it's not one. When he was in his bag and he was doing the dream shake. Huh?
You think Bill Russell could defend a king?
I think Bill was a supreme defensive player, and I think he played the game with his mind more than he did his body.
No, I'm thinking like when you think the advancements in athleticism, I don't know.
Bill Russell played against Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain is a goddamn god. Like people,
right? Hold up, guys. Hold up. Before we go, hold on. One side, I gotta get this in. Sometimes, to the fans, we start a little early because the conversation gets started before the show. But anyway, guys, welcome over the Top Podcast Sports Edition. This is your boy Big Hank. I'm over here with the Over the Top Sports crew. We're gonna start with my boy RJ, who led us in. He was doing some thought-provoking speaking. So I thought I want to get gathered before we start the show, so you guys don't miss anything. What's going on, Ron?
Hey, what's up, Hank? How you doing?
Everything good. We got Q in the house. What's up, Q?
I have two things to say. First off, it's WrestleMania weekend. Roman Reigns, The Rock cousin, Samoan Dynasty, all that. The grandson of a plumber.
Son of a plumber.
Dusty was the son of a plumber. Come on, you watch WCW. You a WCW guy. You know.
I know. Okay. Touche.
He's the son of a plumber.
Touche. I ain't gonna forget about Big Playmaker. What's going on, G?
I can't call it. Just trying to figure out if I'm ever going to be labeled the son of a plumber.
Hey. I guess it's more. You could be a son of something else more than a plumber, but hey, we'll make it out. And last but not least, Blizz Franks. What's going on with you, buddy?
What's happening, man? Hey, I'm mad. I'm really mad because if Dylan Brooks feel like he's like an NBA star, I cheated myself out of millions of dollars.
You don't think you're a star?
Man, shut up.
I ain't no hater.
Every player in the NBA thinks they're a star.
But can he make a career with the antics? Do you put him in the same category as the Tuckers and
I knew he was gonna say Tucker.
That's your boy. You got
Tucker. What's Tucker?
TJ?
No, what's your boy Tucker
from Philadelphia?
From Philadelphia.
Oh yeah. He's that guy. He's that type of guy. Yeah, he's that type of guy.
And what's your boy for the play with the LA? I still can't remember his name for nothing off the top of my head.
You talking about Grayson Allen?
Well, Grayson Allen not as dirty as he was at Duke. At Duke, he was dirty. What's that, Ron?
I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna hit y'all with some names. It's gonna take y'all back.
We're not thinking of that guy. What was the guy named that played with LA? Dirty player. He went
Patrick Beverly. We run into this.
Beverly, yeah.
Patrick Beverly, and he's in Chicago now.
Okay, that's where he is. Okay.
I'm gonna hit y'all with some names, and I'm gonna see how much y'all remember.
All right.
Great. Well, I ain't gonna say great, but good shooter, Sean Higgins. This is a Capital Classic at 1987. Greg Kubiak, Marcus Liberty, Eric Howard. Dang, I can't see. Rodney Monroe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
D3, Dennis Scott.
Yes.
LeBradford Smith. Anthony Tucker out of DC. Brian Shorter.
Okay.
Larry Johnson. One of my favorite players of all time. Shaking, baking, Mark Macon. When I come past half court, I'm enraged. Treg Lee. Chris Corciani. Jay Edwards. John Crotty. Mike Maddox. King Rice. David White. Jerome Harrison. Elliot Perry, who went to Temple too as well. Rest in peace, Bison Daly. AKA Brian Williams was a monster at Maryland. Perry Carter, Bobby Martin, Elmore Spencer, and Bill Hoopner. I don't know him.
So
but that team, that was 1987 high school McDonald All-Americans. All those dudes were pretty much certified and made big impacts in college. You only know two of them, Q.
Dennis
Scott. I only know about two.
Great knowledge.
Sean Higgins played on the Michigan championship team, was a spot up shooter. Marcus Liberty was
the NBA.
He had a brief NBA career, wasn't long. Marcus Liberty was a heck of a player with Illinois. They made a great run. Kendall Gill, Marcus Liberty, and was it Brian Oliver? Not wasn't Oliver. It was another dude.
The third one.
LJ was on there too. You said Larry Jones in that list?
Yeah, Larry Johnson was on the list. Mark Macon, Tim Perry. Tim Perry was a hell of a player. King Rice played at Carolina. LeBradford Smith played at I think he played at Louisville. John Crotty was a good player. Yeah, John Crotty was a very good player with the UVA.
He played at Virginia.
Yeah, Corciani went to NC State. Smith was at Flint Hill. I forgot who he was at Flint Hill with though, man. They came to our gym and played our team. Lawrence Moulton and Charles Harrison played. That's when we started playing the national schedule. At my high school.
So who win? UNLV team or the Michigan team? Fab Five. Running Rebels or Fab Five? Who win?
I am out of my element.
I'm sorry, Quinn. I'm sorry. We're gonna come. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you.
If I'm looking at that game and breaking it down.
So Quinn, to understand the Fab Five in which you had Jalen Rose.
I know the Fab Five. Now that UNLV team.
You're not familiar with UNLV.
No.
Yeah, who
with
was on
Larry
that
Johnson, huh?
Who was on that squad?
Larry Johnson, Greg Anthony,
Anderson Hunt.
Janison Hunt. What's the small forward?
Stacey Augman and Eccles. I can't think of his first name though. Eccles. He was like a long. He was like a 6'10", 6'11" long center. But they played what they called a amoeba. That was before.
Before him.
Armand played with Phyllis Freddie Banks. So their run was a little bit before theirs. I was a lot younger. LV's run was in the early 90s.
Right.
Like
I thought
80, 89, 90.
Cause they match up with. I think they match up pretty decent.
I would have to
You know
say.
what?
Go ahead.
I want to see a good game. I don't want to see a winner.
Yeah.
I just want to see him go at it. I want to see Chris Webb come down, get Larry. I want to see Larry go back and get Chris Webb.
Yeah.
I want to see argument and Jalen Rose go at it. You know, that's stuff I just want to see him go at it. I don't have to have a winner. Just get some good ball.
Bell, why
I want to go back to that list for 1 second. Let's go back to the list for 1 second. Man, when you bring up Mark Macon name, oh my goodness. That dude
people don't understand how good he was.
He was Temple University by himself. I mean, he walked into a gym and it was like, they gonna win because of him. Oh my goodness.
That was an extremely talented team. Yeah, that was an extremely talented team.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, that was an extremely talented team. Him, Tim Perry, because they had a good, solid center. And Don Chaney would come down to DC and get our bigs. Like he had Donald Hodge. Yeah, he had Donald Hodge, which is a 7-footer. We had 2 7-footers in at Coolidge at one time. That's when
wow.
I don't know if you ever heard of Charles Smith's little brother, Kirk Smith, was actually a playground legend in DC. An absolute playground legend.
Okay, quick. Hey, I'm gonna go quick a little bit. We get. Hey man, the NBA playoffs are kind of heating up. The MVP race. You think Joker's still gonna win it?
So how I've been seeing social media is treating Joel Embiid. They're basically saying Joel Embiid is getting the "Here Nigga Damn" award because
what?
That's what they're saying. They're saying that here, take it, because they done gave because they're saying he done got snubbed twice. That's what they're saying. But then again, Joel, if there's ever a year, Joel is having an MVP year. He might win the award. The problem is there is another player who's having an MVP year, and there's 2 other people who's also having an MVP year.
Well, so, I think. What you think, Nick? I think.
It's a 3-man race.
Huh?
I know you got to put Giannis up there. Who's the other 2?
It's Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis.
Yeah. Everybody says Giannis' numbers is better than Embiid, so they don't even think Embiid is going to have a chance.
I heard they're saying it because Embiid missed 14 some plus games, and a lot of them wasn't due to injury. There was just him sitting.
Well, they were saying that Giannis has better rebounding and better points. I don't know if that's still the case.
Well, actually, because I was just looking earlier, I think Jokic has more rebounds and more assists. I think Jokic leads them both.
Well, I was going for Embiid all season. I think, and I really think that he's the perimeter all-star. But I think he should lose for making this comment.
So I got it. So Embiid is first in points. Giannis is 5th in points, and I think Jokic is out of the top 10. Jokic is 2nd in rebounding, and Giannis is 3rd. And Jokic is also 4th in assists. Oh, Jokic which is 9.9. So Jokic's not even averaging a triple-double anymore.
Well, he should. Jordan Embiid should lose some voting points for telling the world that he's more skillful than Hakeem Olajuwon, more dominant than Shaq, and easily the best center that ever played the game. I mean, just for making statements just like that, he probably needs, in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I think deductive points. What you think?
I think as a basketball player, he should have all the confidence in the world. And as a future MVP, whether it's not this one, he's probably gonna win one. He's earned the right for him to say that he feels he's the best center of all time.
Anybody else?
I'm not agreeing with him. I'm saying if he wants to say that way, who am I to tell him no?
Now, Is he the best in the league right now? Let's bring in the parameters a little bit. Let's
I
not
won't
say
say no.
all time. Let's say in the league right now amongst active players. Is he the best center?
Nope, I still have Joker over him. If I want a center, I'm taking Joker.
Jump in, Ron, about what you think? What do you think? Who we got? What we got?
I like him. I like Embiid. I think he's the best player. I think Joker
Is
has.
his statements true?
Nah, I don't know. I can't go with that. I think the tough part I have to deal with relative to that is just like, it's crazy. I looked at a clip today, and then looking at the clip, Isaiah was talking about, like, I think Hank said this to me. Isaiah was talking about Bird.
Larry Bird.
And Bird was talking about, man, y'all got these three goddamn white boys, man. Hey, man, you disrespecting me. These boys can't guard me. And that thing blew my mind, but I can see Larry saying that, right?
Right.
When I'm looking at Joker, I don't doubt his skill because he's a skilled player. What I have an issue with is the media and the bias. Because I think Joel Embiid should have won not last year, the year before last. I think I think Giannis won the year Giannis won the title, he won the MVP.
No, that was Giannis won the year before. Giannis won the MVP that bubble year, and then he won the title that year after. It was the same year, which is why it was weird. But that was the next season.
One of those years, I felt like Embiid should have won the MVP and he was cheated out of it. And so I think a lot of what we're dealing with is a little bit of, a lot of times we deal with a lot of East Coast bias when we start looking at like basketball and football. But I think it's a little bit biased. I think Joker is a very skilled player, but I don't think he's better than Embiid. Just not to me. Not to me.
Now, I know we don't go right around, but do you think the MVP race itself is more biased? Do they get it right? Or is it just a popularity contest? Do they get it right? Explain that.
It's definitely popularity.
I think Perk said something that was really deep though. Big Perk said, and I think he said out of the last 15 to 20 years, the person that had the highest scoring average and impacted the game the most was the person generally who won the MVP. He said the only time it hadn't been, and he shot some names. He said the time when Steve Nash won, Doncic, not Doncic, but Joker, and I think did Doncic ever win MVP?
So he said the 2 times Steve Nash won it, and the time Dirk Nowitzki won it.
Dirk Nowitzki, that's what it was. That's what it was.
If the counter Perk, if he goes back one more year, because he did say 15, he goes back one more year, he gets Magic's 3rd MVP, when he was like 15th in points.
What do you think about that, B?
Good.
Well, I've questioned the MVP race and how it's looked at and looked upon, because we came along, the person that was putting up numbers and putting up major numbers was the same person every year, and that was Mike. And that man only he only had 5, and after Mike, there's Kobe. Kobe only Kobe got 2, if 2.
Kobe had 1.
Okay, 1. Then you talk about LeBron. LeBron stuck at 4 when he really should have 5 or 6.
Yeah.
At the end, I think it just becomes, we've given one player enough. Let's cut it off and let's move on to someone else. As far as Embiid or Jokic, I think it's Embiid. He's been robbed too much, man. He was robbed a couple of years ago, and I think he deserves it this year. He brings a lot. His game is a whole lot different. I think his game brings a lot more energy, energy to to the floor than what Jokic brings. So I would go with Embiid, to be honest.
Yeah, I still got Embiid. Again, so I pulled up and well, first of all, yeah, let's do this. Then we can go there in this segment. My mind everywhere. So they got the 2023 Basketball Hall of Fame class that's going in this year, and we got we got Dwayne Wade, Dirk Nowitzki, Tony Parker, Paul Gasol, Greg Popovich. Those are the ones that we know off the top of our head. The other one we got, well, we just get read by a little respect. David Hickson, assistant coach, Purdue's coach, Jeannie Akiti, Three Rivers community coach, Gene Best, Kansas coach, Marion Washington, WNBA legend Becky Heron, at Texas A&M coach Gary Blair, and Stanford guard Jennifer Ozzie. Is there any surprise on the top of the list?
That's not about right.
I think it's a solid list. I mean, I think all of those players are Hall of Fame type players.
Okay, I didn't want to know the list was.
Low key for. I mean, they didn't necessarily have like a high profile NBA. I mean, WNBA game. Jennifer Azzi was like that.
Yeah.
Like that. She was like a Diana Taurasi in her time. With a better jump shot.
Okay. I don't want to know if there's any issues with that list. Any issues with that list? That's all.
I feel you want to say something, Hank. Who do you think shouldn't be on that list? You
no. So it kind of leads into my next conversation because last week we was talking about shooting guards, and somebody said that Dwayne Wade is the third best shooting guard that ever played the game,
and I stand on it.
So when you said that throughout the week, wait a minute, let me finish. Somebody else on the panel said that they kind of got his crawl. They kind of got his skull. So I'm trying to figure out. See it with your chest. We over the top, baby. Explain yourself.
Go ahead.
No, they can't.
Go ahead.
So I figured it out. I figured why I had such a problem with that statement last week. And the reason why I had the problem is not because of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade is an accomplished player. He has done some great things in the league. But the reason why I had a problem with this statement is first you say Jordan, and I'm like, okay, that's the man. Then you say Kobe. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's the man. And then you put Dwayne Wade in the same sentence. And for me, Dwayne Wade is accomplished. Dwayne Wade has done a lot for the league, but he's never been the face of the league like a Michael Jordan or like a Kobe. And that's why I had a problem. And that's why I had a problem. Not because he's not deserving, but when you put him after those two individuals.
I'll expand on it a little more. So I still have Dwayne Wade 3, but if it were to be a list, it would really be Jordan, a little bit of a space, Kobe, a gap, and then Wade. Wade's still 3, but it is 1 and 2 space tab.
That list I looked at. That list I looked at though, it didn't even have a logo up there.
No, it had Jerry on there.
Was he a shooting guard?
Yeah.
Man, you look disgusted, sir. You look disgusted. Explain. You look disgusted, sir.
Well, oh Lord. You cannot deny, you can't take away from Mike or Kobe.
I'm not.
As a matter of fact, I guess in a sense you gotta take them and sit them on top of the two guards and just leave them there. But when I think about killers, And I just, and mind you, I see it. I know I might look at the game a little different. When I think about killers, somebody, if I'm on the playground and I'm picking a team and for what reason and whatnot, I'm going to be honest. If Reggie Miller and D-Wade out there, D-Wade going to still be on the sideline. I'm going to get Reggie Miller because that boy came out at UCLA. He was doing Curry before Curry was born. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That boy, I mean, the man can straight up play, man. Flat out play.
After looking at the numbers,
I'm not saying
I agree with you, B. But after looking, if you going straight numbers,
I ain't looking at the numbers.
It's hard. If
numbers are lies. Numbers tell lies. Guess what?
He has the chips and he has the all-stars.
If you look at straight numbers, Big Baby got a darn championship, yo. You can't look at numbers. So even with taking Reggie, I just think it's too many guards and whatnot. To me, Dwayne was more of an undersized 3 than he was a 2 guard.
Well, let me say this about the Reggie Miller thing. I'm a huge Reggie Miller fan, but in order for me to be considered top 5, you have to dominate on both sides of the ball. And Reggie can run some screens and shoot the 3, but if you put him out on defense and said, hey, we need a stop to win the game, you might as well go get popcorn and a beer because the game is over.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. What you think? What you think, Ron? Where you at over there?
I mean, so many names and so much history in basketball, right? Just really processing it. I can respect what y'all say about Kobe, but there's other people that really put up numbers that we don't necessarily always hear about. Like lower on that list was Iceman. I was telling Hank on the way when I was coming home, I like players like Andrew Toney. Andrew Toney would get hot and light you up. The microwave. Benny Johnson. Heck, man, there's been a lot of players and a lot of extremely talented teams that I've seen play, and the guys that I thought highly of. Like, man, people don't even remember how talented the Bucks were with Sidney Moncrief and goddamn Jack Sigma. And so when I started looking at those teams, I just looked at the wealth of talent, and it's just hard for me to kind of narrow that down. But I do believe Kobe and Magic are, Mike are a step above everybody else. But to not have Jerry West on that list was really hard for me to see.
Who do you guys think? Jerry. I mean, I never seen Jerry West play. So was he that nice, or was he just?
Jerry just ran into the buzzsaw that was the Celtics, like everybody else. You know, the buzzsaw.
Regardless if you ever seen a game, the man is freaking logo.
He's the logo. He just stands.
Who
the best duo on the league right now?
For how long does he even deserve? The logo should have been changed anyway.
Who's gonna change to Mike?
Well, I think people like, you know, I think the one thing, like, that's the one thing that really kind of gets lost in time. Like, I had the audiobook with John Thompson, right? I think what gets lost in time is 2 players that get lost in time and people don't even know about. The Big O, Oscar Robertson, who averaged a triple-double for a whole freaking year. Like, he did it before that. Him and Kareem won a championship together. And Elgin Baylor. John Thompson, they used to call Elgin Baylor the Rabbit. Elgin, man, my grandfather tells stories about how he used to go and sweep off the basketball court when it snowed so he can go outside and shoot. Man, the dude, man, put up numbers. He just ran into a buzzsaw that was a good, well-run Celtics team. And that's why it's kind of hard when you look at, like, teams and talent based upon the rings they wear.
Look at the race. We're about,
No, I continue.
I'm about to say we're about seven games out to the playoffs. Durant just came back last night. He rushed.
So,
he rushed.
And other news, that like just happened. I don't know if anyone just
wow.
saw what
Okay.
happened.
Yeah. You gonna cut me
No,
off?
because
Okay,
I just happened to see it. I don't know if anyone just saw it happen to Chris Middleton.
No, I was just gonna come into a segment, but you just cut me off. But go ahead, well, on the Chris Middleton. We had to put the timing on your stuff, but go ahead. Now, to you, what happened to Chris Middleton?
I'm just saying. Well, first off, let me look at this.
What happened to Chris Middleton?
Jaylen Brown knocked his teeth out.
Oh, what, they got in the fight, or was it just
I think he wanted to take a charge, got caught with an elbow, and now he's without some teeth. So, and also the Celtics are blowing out Milwaukee by almost 50.
Okay,
and they haven't stopped scoring.
So question: who got the best duo in the league right now?
Ooh, healthy?
The best. I'm not healthy. Not the best duo in the league right now. You can't be the best if you can't play. You can't stay on the floor.
Okay, so that means nope. I'm not saying LeBron and AD.
I got a question for them after this question too.
Luka and Kyrie is just not working. Middleton can't stay healthy.
But would it be Middleton or would it be Giannis and Hardaway?
It would be Middleton.
Somebody else up there. Who else?
Harder than Embiid?
Anybody else? Do anybody else got any answers? We quiet tonight.
I'll go with Brown and Tatum. You got two guys who can defend their own position and can score. And you can see when Tatum is out, Brown can pick up the load. And when Brown is out, Tatum can take the load. I got to go with those two off the top of my head. I ain't got the numbers to support it, but off the top of my head, I go with those two guys.
Who else?
I'm looking at the teams. No. I'm looking at the teams.
What about you, Bell? USA and Joker and your boy? He ain't the best duo.
No, because I don't know how they're going to be, how healthy they're going to be. Both Murray and Porter Jr. are coming off injuries.
What'd you say, Bell?
You got to go with Tatum and Brown. They're the ones working right now.
You do know huh? What you know?
I agree they're second. The only reason I'm not going with them is because Joel's averaging 33 and Harden's averaging 10 assists. 8 of them are probably going to Joel Embiid.
I say Durant and Booker. I say Durant and Booker. I just think that Durant has learned how to play his game in the context of playing with great players and still get his shots, but then also not necessarily freeze people out. So I say Durant and Booker, and I think Booker is an excellent scorer and a heck of a player. So yeah, I say Durant and Booker.
If they don't win a chip or make it to the finals, is it a bust this year, or do you give Durant a pass for missing 10 games?
He's missed more than 10, but I just think it's. I think it's hard. I think it's hard. Like looking at the context of how they're coming on that team. I think if they didn't have a facilitator like Chris Paul, I would say we're putting a little bit too much pressure on them. But I think if Chris Paul can stay healthy, I think they should win, man.
Can I make two statements?
Huh?
Well, I think for Phoenix, the amount of people they traded to get KD, especially their young talent, it has to be championship or bust for this year because of the amount of players they gave away for them. And then I'm going to throw out an honorable mention for a duo just to get a response from the panel, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, so You know what? The question is, do I want to give you that response? Because I don't think you believe that either.
I think Kawhi is elite. I think Kawhi is the best wing defender in the league when he want to be.
Like when he wants to play basketball, not just defense. Kawhi's best defender in the league when he wants to play basketball.
I'm going with the Splash Brothers, guys. I'm going Golden State.
Thank you. Hey,
I'm going Splash Brothers.
do your thing, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna tell you right now. You can look at Draymond. Draymond is not as effective as he once was.
No, I ain't talking about Draymond. I'm talking about Clay and Steph.
Draymond is a key.
Steph Curry. I ain't talking about
Draymond is a key component.
We ain't talking about Draymond right now. I'm not putting him in that.
And then
category.
you got to think like one of the reasons, like they traded in
that category.
They traded what's the kid's name, man? James Wiseman.
Yeah.
And they got the kid. I think the kid name that they have in his stead that's playing in the center in the hole. Wiggins is out. We don't know why he's out. So how you no.
I'm just saying the best duo.
Also,
the best team.
In fact, let's have a better question. Are you talking about of the whole of this year? Or talking about the past few years?
No, he's saying this year.
This year.
Okay, impossible. Curry's only played like 10 games.
I'm just okay. Oh, so I got pissed about yes. Okay, I go somewhere else. I go Joel Embiid and James Harden. I go Joel Embiid and James Harden.
I wouldn't even say Embiid. I mean, I'm sorry. I wouldn't even say Embiid. I wouldn't say Harden. I would say Maxey. Maxey's a better player.
I say Harden because like I said, Harden is averaging 21, 6, and 10.
Man, he's lost his explosiveness.
And I gave him a hard time on the last show. I purposely gave him a hard time on the last show, but he's still putting up numbers.
Man, he lost his explosiveness.
He's just rolling over in his grave.
You said who rolling over in their grave? Who you say, Ben?
Naismith rolling over in his grave. Every time James Harden pick up a basketball, he rolling over in his grave.
What are you expecting from a player who's 33?
Well, match it is. Well, who's 33? James Harden 33?
Yes.
Well, I mean,
who's 33? He literally had rules made against, so he can't do what got him to the free throw line so often.
Yeah.
And at the ball, lost a step, and still
so
having 21
The same question I'm gonna have for the Lakers, I have for Philly. If they don't win or get to the finals, do you blow it up? That go with Philly first.
Not Rivers.
You
not Rivers soon.
You pack him up first.
Just right off into the sunset.
Huh?
Doc Rivers in maybe a couple of years, maybe this year and next year, after next year, just right off into the sunset. Just be done.
What about you, Gary? You break up Philly?
Doc Rivers is a established coach. He's a great coach. But a pattern I'm starting to see since he left Boston is that the roster doesn't get any better. I mean, he runs Philly hasn't had a solid bench in a while. They don't have a solid bench. They depend so much on Embiid and Harden having great games every night. If Embiid is not having a good game, they have nothing to fall back on. Last night, Durant had a bad game. They still won because everybody else could kind of chip in and contribute. Doc's teams, if his superstars don't play well, they have nothing to fall back on because he doesn't fill out the rest of the roster. Outside of Maxey, who probably should be starting, I couldn't tell you who comes off the bench.
I think he is starting. I'm looking at the depth chart. It says he's a starter.
Well, I know earlier in the season, him and James, he went to the bench to give the bench the second unit a boost. I don't know if they changed that or not.
Who took their last game? Who took their last game?
But if you're asking me, should they break up the team afterwards? I don't think so. I think they need to look at a better GM and a better and maybe a different coach.
Are you firing Doc? You firing Doc?
What has he done?
Well,
if they don't win the championship, what has he done?
No, you're right. You're right.
He was very instrumental in getting your boy out of there and getting a good trade for him. But other than that, what has he done?
Speaking of our boy Ben Simmons, I think he's filing for mental health disability again. I mean, I don't mean to spread light on the subject of mental health, but he's sure playing with it awfully. He's sure playing with awfully heavy, buddy. He's sure playing that card heavy.
At this point, I say we know he got talent. There's just something wrong there. There has to be a mental block at this point.
He don't want to play basketball. Now, am I wrong?
I think that's probably the mental block. He you know what? Ever since that Hawk series, I think he's lost all confidence, mental all gone. He probably wouldn't go for Philadelphia. Dad, you know how Philly fans get. I heard the 76ers fans get way crazier than the Eagles fans.
Well, I mean, you got to be tough.
Well, I'm gonna say what everybody else won't say. He made a mistake. He made the mistake that Harden made, Booker made, Odom made. All these boys are made. You go fool with them Kardashians if you want to. You're gonna pay a price. You laughing, man.
No, I'm not laughing. Hey, now this is not. Now I'm gonna say this, but this is not really a sports podcast. But this may go on the other podcast. But they did say the person you choose to be with it will have a major effect on your life decisions. I mean, so it is what it is.
He's on the floor. He has no interest in the game.
Right, like he don't want to play. Like I don't even want to be here, guys.
I mean, you know what's bad? You know what's bad? He parted ways with the management that got him a guaranteed contract when he was suspect.
Yeah.
Now process that.
Well, what process is Ron?
Plus Sports got him a guaranteed contract, and he wanted to part ways with them. That makes no sense to me, man.
Was it the hustle?
Man, he going home every night.
I think that mentally there's something wrong. There's probably something going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about.
But we can't say he hustled the league.
Nah,
do we go back and get that money back?
Hey, I'm gonna hit y'all with a DC slang. He robbed him without a pistol.
Yeah.
He stuck
how much
him
money
up.
He made what, 200-something million?
He got 38 million. I think he got 38 million in the next 2 years.
Yeah, and how many games he played? 3?
Nah, maybe 25. Maybe 25, man.
Averaging 5. How many points he averaged a game? 5 points a game.
Yeah,
he can't even make it into the starting lineup. How you paying a guy almost a max deal that you can't even put in the starting lineup?
That's highway
when you don't have a superstar.
But you know what though? I think
one games this year.
How many?
42 games this year.
I didn't think he played that many.
Averaging 6, and 6. Oh, there's a problem.
Hey, I know somebody else who would love his agent right about now.
Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson will love his agent right about now. Love his agent right about now.
Hey man, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something.
Before we talk about Lamar, huh?
Are we gonna talk about that again at some point? Because at this point, at this point, what's the NFL doing?
Well, hold on. I want to do this because
what you mean? You gotta explain that one.
We'll stick to the script. I'll stick to the script. I'll stick to the script.
No. I'm gonna talk to him next, but we talk about all these players. We got to give the hometown man his flowers. We got. Is he 5-star yet? Be a 4-star. 4-star / 5-star recruit as of tomorrow is gonna decide where he want to go. So his college career. Blizz Franks. So let me let me go to schools that he can choose from, and then I let Bass expand on it.
He
We
played
got Florida
basketball or
State,
football?
football.
Football.
We
Okay.
got football. We got Florida State. We got Oregon. We got Georgia Tech. We got Louisville. We got Miami. We got North Carolina, South Carolina, Wisconsin. We got Mississippi. We got Penn State. We got Norfolk State. We got Miami. We got Liberty. We got Florida. We got Alabama, and we got Clemson. Boy, proud papa. Hey, you got the flow, man. You get a couple of minutes. They kind of pump your chest a little. Proud papa.
No, now, excited that all the travel, yeah, that's gonna be like the end of it. Yeah, I'm glad that's coming to an end. Even though I wanted to do the Florida schools, and I didn't get the opportunity to do those schools. But other than that, I'm just proud of him. You know, he was the one. You know, I got two sons, so my youngest, man, I had settled in on dude not doing nothing, meaning just getting an education. That's he a nerd. That's what I settled on, and I think it was the end of his 8th grade year. He played D-League at Greenville High, and that's when his brother was coming through, and he was somewhat hot. And I remember went to their last game, and he got in the car after the game, and he was looking all serious, and he looked at me, he said, "Daddy?" And I was like, "What?" And you got to know him to understand, you know, when I say serious, because he a clown. But he looked at me, he said, "Daddy," he said, "I'm going to be better than Barron." And so I'm driving, I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute." I said, "What'd you say?" He said, "I'm going to be better than Barron." I said, "Okay." I said, "Is that your goal? You pushing for that?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm not trying to be funny." And then he said, "I want to make him proud." And I said, "Oh, okay." So from that day, he took that challenge, and man, I ain't never seen nobody work so hard. So he really, all those schools, he worked to gain those schools. So I will say I am proud of him. I'm very proud of him.
I'm very proud of them too, man. I remember when we first moved back home, we were playing at Mount Pleasant. And Blake didn't want to see no football. He didn't want to see no pads. He didn't want to see no helmet. he didn't want to do no with no mouthpiece. He didn't want no parts of it. But to see that young man go from that to where he at now, good props.
I gotta.
Go ahead.
I know you probably want him to go South Carolina, Alabama, but maybe one of. But if he wants to be a lineman, take time to go up to Wisconsin and push legs in the snow and flip hay bales.
Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee.
Hey,
That's a long way from the house, buddy.
Did you ever take a visit to Penn State?
No, he never took. He didn't go to Penn State.
You know, I
told him.
Go ahead. You were.
I told him I like the idea of Penn State. I said, because I see linemen at Penn State. When Wisconsin finally called and talked to him, and they actually sent a coach, when they finally came, that's what I told him. I was like, you know, now that's lineman. That's
Lineman University.
That's
hey, man. Hey, Bear, one of their linemen, right? He from the DC metropolitan area. He went to one of the schools in the conference that I want my son to play in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, he was actually like a top 15 pick. Like if he would have came out this year, he would have been a top 15 pick. That Bama went back to school because he had so much NIL money. He was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and graduate. I ain't gonna really press it. I'm gonna take this money. I think he had like almost $500,000 to almost 700,000 NIL. The dude is, but he's nice. Like he is a freaking athlete. And I think when I look at like places that develop linemen, you know, your LSU's offensive lineman, your LSU's, like you said, Wisconsin,
Your Bama gonna be your Southern lineman.
Penn State.
You can go to South Carolina. You can go. You can get up. They don't produce them massively, but you can.
Man, listen.
You know what? For the talent, you know what's bad about the South Carolina? For the time, man, I'm gonna tell you something. There was a time when I would watch them on TV and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, LeVar Kirkland. I mean, that linebacking crew was monstrous. The lineman that they had was monstrous. They had B. Doc. Man, them dudes was killing people. But they never had solid linemen. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Like, even when you look at South Carolina's a good school. They're going to give them that NIL money because they gave Nick Harbaugh that NIL money.
Oh, they're on a new coach, too. That new coach been there, what, a couple of years now?
Yeah, Shane Beamer. I know Virginia Tech kicking themselves for not hiring him.
Wait a minute.
So let me say this. So
you didn't even go down either.
I got the opportunity, and I went to we went to Clemson. We went up to Clemson to their elite day. So they had 25 elite athletes on campus. And so I'm like, nah, I had never been to the football facilities and stuff. So and I won't lie, I'm not a football guy. So, you know, and me and Kev went. So me and Fats, we get there. You know, we got Blake with us. We get there. And so we walking and Blake just taking his time. And I'm like, man, will you come on? So to my point, we get upon the doors and the doors just swing open. And it's like people just coming at you. And they were like, hey, how you doing? And all this. I'm like, okay. You know, but all you saw was like, those facilities are like, man, I had never seen anything like it. You know,
like built their facilities. That's a new facility Clemson got, right?
I think 18. I think it was built in 18, 19. One of those. But the thing about it was, you know, of course they got it displayed right. They got the national championships out there. They got the different other awards out there. But it's just like the atmosphere. So I was walking around, I was like, man, this is crazy. And, you know, we went to the different, went to the team room, you know, we met in there, and then we went to all other different rooms. We basically saw the place. And so as I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, because Blake was having a problem with Clemson. He felt like Clemson was acting kind of arrogant. So, you know, me and him we had a talk, and I said, you know, they got a right to act arrogant. And he was like, no, they don't. And I was like, they do. I said, because at the end of the day, Dabo put the work in. He put the work in so he could sit back and say, Now, it's not arrogance as we don't want you, but if you're feeling like he's saying, I'm not going to chase you, he's not.
Right.
Because he's proven himself.
Right.
And so I think that was the difference. And when we went down to South Carolina, I was like, oh, wow. It was just a whole different experience. Because, you know, at Clemson, you get the bells and the whistles.
Right.
So South Carolina, we got more of, it wasn't bells and whistles. I don't even know what to call it. But that, I really like this.
I got it.
You saw national championships, but in South Carolina, you saw sitting in the right-hand corner, you saw the Heisman Trophy. Not with a spotlight, not with pictures of George Rogers running the rock.
Right.
You saw it on a thing, just sitting on a thing.
Wow.
Like, here's our on Heisman. And I'm like, dang, if I was George, I'd come in here and get my darn, you know. I know the school get one, but I'm just saying, you gotta dress it up or something.
Say you could win a Benedict College, got a better look. got a better look.
And then I felt like Clemson's weight room was 2 times as big as South Carolina's. South Carolina facility is new also. So I'm sitting back saying, dang, so how is Clemson's weight room 2 times bigger than yours? And, you know.
BCS money?
No. Clemson also got that I pay. Clemson's alumni is ridiculous when they give back to that daggone school with athletics.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree, Hank, but man, I'm telling you that
but you're right.
Don't discount
Clemson money is crazy too.
Don't discount that BCS money, man. Don't miscount that money that came into the conferences when they win, championships, things of that nature, because they bust that down. You know what I'm saying? So when you get that money flowing through your athletic budget and you get the donors, yeah.
I just got a different vibe too. Well, I remember when we took Quentin to Clemson for the visit, and it wasn't sports related. But by the time you walk on that campus, by the time you leave, the one thing you don't know nothing else, you're gonna know how to spell Clemson. Because every dorm, C-L-E-S, from every dorm you walk by, somebody screaming Clemson. I don't care where you at. We was in the cab. They started chanting the Clemson song. We in the library. You walking down campus, they just yelling C-L-E-S the whole day. I said,
hated every bit of it.
Yeah, so
I hated that, and I hated the color orange for like 2 weeks.
Well, I think the one thing about going to a bigger college, man, it's emerging, and it's a different vibe, man. If you're not ready to be in those 100 people classrooms or those 50 to 100, man, nah, bro, it's a different animal.
It was also a culture. I remember. I don't know if you remember when we were going to visit. I think Taj Boyd was still there, and the tour guy was saying, "You may have a classroom with Taj Boyd." I said, I don't care. First off, he ain't won nothing. So he ain't won nothing about Ben. Like, why do I care if I'm in the classroom with a football player I'm probably not gonna hang out with because he's too busy in a weight room?
Right. So guys, so tomorrow, Blake get opportunity to make his choice. We're proud of the young man. We love the young man. We support him. Where we go, trust. We will be doing an over-the-top podcast sports edition on location. Wherever we be, we gonna be there. So much love to you, Blake. Much love to you, bro. Yeah, we still got a show to talk about. I'm gonna go with you with this. What's going on with Lamar Jackson's contract, man? I mean, people run away from him. What's the deal?
One of the things I think is holding some teams from making a decision or pulling the trigger on Lamar is not because of the talent or necessarily the money. I think it's those picks. I think, teams kind of know what they want to do with those picks, those 2 first-round picks. So I think they want to go ahead and execute their plan and then get Lamar after they get the picks. So
I think they played yourself. I think Lamar playing himself. What do you think? Anybody? That's a true statement.
No, I'm looking for there it is. I found what the owner of the Atlanta Falcons. He said, "There's no question Lamar Jackson is one of the top QBs in the league. Looking at it objectively, there's some concern about whether or not he can play this style of game for how long that can last. But he's missed 6 games each of the last 2 years. Now, I believe that owner, first off, you lost 28-3. You blew a 28-3 lead. So with Matt Ryan, so you're obviously not good at picking quarterbacks anyway. Second, I'm pretty sure Atlanta was one of the teams that wanted Deshaun Watson last year. Mind you, Deshaun Watson not only had 20-some cases against him, he was also coming off an injury. And they're ready to throw the money at Deshaun Watson, who plays a similar style to Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson's style is only because that's how the Ravens play. If you want Lamar Jackson to throw the ball, he will throw the ball. Lamar Jackson got hurt because he got sacked last year because he was in a pocket.
What do you think they do, Ron? So did they trade him or keep him? What's your thoughts?
I think he should just be afforded the opportunity to move on because I think the relationship, because he's representing himself, is going to end up being toxic. And it's simply negotiation. I told y'all we too emotional to be free at times. And Lamar probably is taking that whole thing emotional. And so he has to really sit back and ask himself, is this business or is this emotionality? And honestly, I don't think the Ravens can afford him under the cap. That's one of the reasons why we can't go after him. If it would have been last year, we could have moved somebody around.
Y'all decided to go after your boy. Who y'all get?
Carson Wentz.
Who?
Carson Wentz back then.
No, they got rid of Carson. They brought somebody else in, didn't they? Who they bring in? What's
Brissett.
Brissett. So he could be.
But we don't have enough money to do that. Like we don't have the money to pay. Like last year we had a quarterback slot type money. As a 28 million that's sizable. But what Lamar went, nah, we don't have it.
But I think
still have the team.
I mean, Gary told her earlier. I think Lamar Jackson go to San Francisco, they become a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, he does, but you got to think about this. Like, I'm gonna ask you this question: why do I go get Lamar if I had a guy that was on my team last year that went 7-0 until he got to the playoffs and got hurt on a fluke injury?
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
I mean, I ride with that guy. He comes in the camp as my number one.
But the thing about footage though, Ron, you know now they got a body of work on this guy, so he's not gonna have the same success as he had last year.
I'm gonna tell you.
Look at. Plus, if you run Lamar Jackson and San Fran and run that run pass option with McCaffrey and D-Boy as a receiver, that's a threat can't nobody stop.
I don't disagree with you, but I'm gonna say this to you. Kyle Shanahan is the best play caller in the NFL. Period. Bar none, hands down. I've seen him.
Andy?
Better than who?
Andy?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
The reason why he's lost Super Bowls has not been the one he fucked that up with Atlanta. He fucked that up. He should have ran the ball. Messed that up. I'm sorry. Excuse for the profanity. The second one, he had no control over Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes. And Jimmy G missing that wide open wide receiver.
Oh, I remember that.
This guy, I'm telling you, with a poor RG3, I seen him design plays, especially in the Denver game at the end of that year where RG3 was like, I want to be a pocket passer. And Robert couldn't see the field. And I said, this dude is a bad joker. He put up numbers. He was like number one or number two, the top 2 or 3 in the league with Matt Schaub as the quarterback. Think about that, man.
I mean, Gary,
Matt Schaub. Now that was a talented team, but Matt Schaub was the quarterback.
What you think about that, Gary? What do you think about the history saying that Kyle Shanahan is the best play caller? I have a hard time. Digesting that one. But what do you think about that, Nesbitt? That Kyle Shanahan is the best play caller in the league. What's your thought?
I mean, I think you have to weigh, and I think it holds weight because one of the good things, the way that I evaluate an offensive coordinator or play caller is how do you play to the strength of your team? You got some coordinators that just want to run their offense regardless if they got the personnel to do it. Here, this man said, you know what? I'm going to put my number one receiver in the backfield, and I ain't going to just run sweeps. I'm going to run it up the eye because this is the best guy to do the job. So
I'm sorry, I just looked up Kyle Shanahan. Here's a quote from Kyle Shanahan that was like 5 hours ago. He says, Sam Darnold has as good a skill set as there is.
As who?
As there is, meaning Sam Darnold.
Hey, bro.
Sam Darnold has as.
Let me tell you something. I think this is the secret in the NFL what makes teams great. Because Sam Darnold is a talented player, man. Like people sleep on this dude. He
I'm gonna
could
sleep on him. I
run.
saw him live.
What?
I ain't sleep on him. That we saw Sam Darnold live throw 2 picks to Darius Slay.
The issue with Sam Darnold, I'm gonna put it to you just like this. Jared Goff looked great the one year, and then the next year he hit the wall.
They got footage of him. That's one thing about you, boy, from San Fran. They got footage.
Then he goes from McVay's system to this other system. Now, McVay's system, they want to do a lot more rolling out. He's more of a statuesque quarterback. But this guy in Detroit put up numbers, man. Detroit, they was a top 5 offense. It's coaching.
One game out of play.
That's what's wrong with Sam Darnold. It's if people, man, the Jets organization is doo-doo. And he was exposed.
Well, hey, the Jets are doing something now.
That's why get in that bell. You watch it. What your thoughts?
That's good drafting.
Get in there.
As far as even starting with the Jackson thing, I think that's just a mess. Baltimore gonna make it messy as they can make it. They can at the end of the day. They should have. They knew they didn't want to give the man the money. I think they should have been upfront with him, but they didn't want to be upfront with him. And it might be kind of his downfall because he don't have an agent. It might be. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying everybody got to have an agent, but it might kind of be.
That fine print is that fine print.
But then you said him being in San Fran. Nah, we don't need it.
I'm just telling you. I'm just
gonna roll with old boy.
I'm just trying to be explosive. I'm just saying.
I like the fact that Mr. Irrelevant, he ended the season. He said he was 7-1. I don't know how many other guys that was irrelevant that can say he gonna sit down in training camp and he gonna sign a contract extension. He gonna make history. So going into the season with him and Lance, let him fight it out. Let him fight it out at the end of the day.
It's better for your cap too.
Huh?
It's better for your cap to re-sign Mr. Irrelevant than to go get Jackson.
Jackson won $200 million guaranteed. I don't know who's gonna pay him there. I mean, you look at DBC. I thought DC was gonna pay him the money, but
there's a team up in Ohio that gave a possible criminal $200 million guaranteed.
But do you? Well, I'm gonna ask you a question now. When healthy, who you take? Deshaun or Jackson?
I'm taking the former league MVP.
Anybody else? I'm going Watson. Anybody else?
This ain't Clemson, Louisiana.
I'm going Watson.
Let's not all be quiet now.
I'm gonna go Watson.
What was the question?
Did Deshaun Watson or Jackson?
Talent wise, not off the field wise.
Talent.
You talking about talent wise?
Who the best? Who if you had to start a quarter? If you had to start a franchise, what quarterback would you start? Who you start?
Oh, I think Lamar.
No, I'll take Jack. I'll take.
You want your franchise quarterback to have 24 cases? Nah, give me the guy who hasn't done anything wrong in his career.
I'm not worried about off the field antics. I'm going with Watson because Watson is more accurate on the throwing and he can run, buddy. He can do both.
Well, let's say this.
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, he's saying about the 24 cases. We do know the Texans set him up with those 24 cases.
That's right.
I halfway agree. I think maybe
agree.
I think 5 or 10 of them is not legit, but out of 24,
it's more than 5 or 10. This is not.
They gave him a room, man. It's entrapment. Essentially, they gave him a room in which to do these activities. If you give him a room, then you're aware of it. You're aware of it. So they knew exactly what was going to come out.
I think 5.
And that's why. no criminal charges if formally come forth, because they will have to be taken down on entrapment charges.
Yeah, because I'm quite sure they got video of some of these visits or some aspects of stuff that didn't take place. And so I think we need to really kind of look at it from the perspective of like, yo, NFL and NFL security, man, they're like the FBI. I got my eye on you. So
the NFL, we got a lot of coverage with NFL. I know the draft coming up.
No, you're right. The NFL, they found out Kareem Hunt kicked the girl from a hotel camera footage. Man, they had two angles. One from where he kicked her, and one from the hall where she ended up at.
The National Football League run that operation with a on strong arm fist, buddy. They gonna know where you at and what you're doing at all times. But talk a little about football, then we're gonna close it out tonight. Who the draft come up in a couple of weeks? Who have put themselves in the best position that you think to make themselves better for next year? If you had a team that made some moves to make themselves better for next year, who would you say it was? Go with you, Jake.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah, Carolina's great.
Carolina positioned themselves to get him a quarterback. Now the thing is, are they going to make the right decision? But I think they put themselves in a good position.
I don't think they're gonna make a total wrong position by picking a top quarterback. They also picked up Sanders, which is a good running back. What's up?
There is two clear wrong decisions.
What?
Will Levis and Anthony Richardson. Those are two clear wrong decisions.
I think it's either gonna be the guy from Ohio or the guy from Bama.
Yeah, I agree. But if one of those two end up in Carolina, they're set up to fail. Well,
who you think, B? Who you think Mitchell is set up pretty good? You think your boys set up pretty good for next year? You got rid of Jimmy. Jimmy at Novella? No, in Las Vegas.
Garoppolo?
Well, I ain't getting into all that, but I think we've made some good moves. And one good thing about it is we haven't made any major moves, to make big changes to the roster. So I'm excited. I think it's Super Bowl.
What about the Commanders, sir? Y'all make the playoffs? Y'all put us in position to make the playoffs?
Should have made it last year, but I think we're gonna. If we don't, like anybody else, if we don't have a whole bunch of injuries, we're gonna make the playoffs. I'm gonna tell you right now. And listen what I'll tell you, and that's why Jerry went out and got Stephon Gilmore. Stop playing. Nobody in the league, man. I'm gonna say this, and this is what pisses me off about Ron. Taylor Heineke last year had the highest QBR against San Francisco that any quarterback had that first half, and Ron pulled him.
Yeah.
He beat the Eagles with Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
His only loss.
So if you sit here telling me, and I'm telling you, what is like? Well, I sent you that look. I told you at the beginning of the year. Hank was like, "Yeah, man, Ron, we're gonna smoke y'all." I said, "Nah, bro." I said, "I told you." I said, "Man, we gonna." I said, "Hank, I'm just telling you, it's gonna be different the second time." And God dang it!
I mean, don't get me wrong. You guys beat us. You got control.
Speaking of,
man, if I'm gonna ask you this question: who has more dangerous wide receivers than we do?
We do.
Listen, stop for a second.
Easily. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, my tight end. Easy.
Wes Watkins, if he chooses to learn how to catch.
Easy money, sir. Easy money, sir. You're not even close. You're not even close. Hey. Your receiver core in Washington is not even close to the receiver core in Philly.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what? I'm telling you, look, Bear put his hand on his head.
Anybody else? Okay, I'll be quiet. I'm non-biased. Bear, I know you're not a football guru.
Who better?
You're not a football guru, but come on.
He ain't seen him.
Answer the question.
Y'all ain't seen it. Y'all ain't seen it. You seen him up. Hey, I'm gonna tell you right. You know why your coach played that cover 3 defense against us? Because Slay was getting cooked.
Maybe
because our
conversation, sir.
Watch what I tell you next year.
Conversation, sir.
Man, I guarantee
because
you.
our defense coordinator sucks.
But sir, that's not the conversation. You try to tell me that Washington receiving core better than Philadelphia receiving core.
It is.
No,
I'm telling you.
Gary, you're on mute. Okay, let's get somebody else. Let's get somebody else.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you.
Who's the number two? Who's the number 2 receiver in Washington?
Jahan Dotson, who missed like 6 games with a hamstring pull because he had to come back. He tried to come back too early. Go look him up, G, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
I know. So the question was, who has a better receiving
so
core?
hold on. I'm gonna ask you an honest question. Do you think Brown is that much better than Terry McLaurin?
Not only do I think he's that much better, I think Devontae Smith's that much better too.
Man, you really on that though. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna happen this year, and I'm gonna tell y'all watch what I tell you. The offense that we had last year is deep out, deep ends, and digs, right? We couldn't effectively push the ball downfield because we had a quarterback that we didn't trust his arm. Watch what happens this year. I'm telling you right now.
You still don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball. Your quarterback still suck. Percent suck.
Hey.
Quarterback still suck. I don't understand what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, I am not scared of your quarterback.
I'm gonna tell you right now. We're gonna split and we may sweep y'all. I'm saying that right now. And remember, I said that it's recorded.
I mean, we can yell about it, but nah.
Their quarterback room consists of Jacoby Brissett, Jake Fromm, and Sam Howell.
Hey, check. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Ooh-wee.
No, check the numbers last year. Check the numbers last year. Jacoby Brissett last year with the Colts, right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, with the Browns. They didn't lose because Brissett put them in a position to lose. They lost because the defense was the defense was hard. They fired the defensive coordinator.
Okay. But he's not no top tier quarterback.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Receivers not no top end.
You remember what I told you? You remember when I told you last year? Remember what I told you last year? We was gonna win that second game.
You beat us one game, and that's fine. We lost a lot. We lost a lot of them. That's fine.
Oh, listen. The only team that really. I'm gonna tell you this: the only team that
came down to playoff time, what did Run do? You put Carson Wentz in,
man. You know what that is?
He was garbage when you got him.
Miami has the best receiving core.
Yeah,
I agree.
Do they go 3 deep?
Miami? Let me look, because if we have top 5 receivers,
that tight end.
Oh, Mike
Gesicki gone.
Wait a minute. We talking about the future? Or we talking about last year's season?
I'm talking about this year coming up.
You don't have a quarterback
Tony Brissett. That's who we going with.
No, I'm not. Okay,
he's
listen.
not the projected starter.
No, listen.
That's who we going with.
He's not the projected starter.
Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying to y'all. I'm telling y'all right now, and I'm gonna sound just like a genius. And I'm not fanning out. I'm telling you.
The best quarterback from DC played with Minnesota.
and even so, he's only good when the sun's up.
Yeah, he can't play at night. He gonna play the 1 o'clock game. He gonna play the damn 1 o'clock game.
Hey, you know what? My man Charles Stansbury. I don't know where he is. He used to play with me when I played in JUCO. Dance with your big ass now. Because when we went, watch when I say that shit next year. I'm going to say it next year. Dance with your big ass now. Watch when I tell you.
We got on record. Bear, you got the last word tonight, sir. You've been quiet here lately. You can wrap it up tonight. You got the last word.
Well, I saw them talking about Cam.
Ah, yeah, I forgot about Cam. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for reminding me. We've been 2 weeks on Cam. Talk about him.
I think he still got something left in the tank. Problem is, he just don't run his mouth too much. So now he just
better than 32.
Oh yeah.
When you say got something in the tank, you mean starter?
Let me look at these.
Yeah. I don't think all 32 quarterbacks ain't legit.
Oh, there's some duds out there.
Let's see.
First off, out there.
You want to know a team who can use him?
The Commanders. Who?
Yeah, Commanders. Better than the quarterback y'all got.
They go Commanders.
In fact, let me go back to the quarterback.
What he say? He said better than quarterback. You know, the one thing that I'm gonna tell you something.
He said Cam said on one of the podcasts that he's better than the three. There is not 32 quarterbacks in the league better than him.
I'm gonna tell you. Could I say one thing before y'all go?
Yeah.
Before you go, Sam Howell has elite arm strength. One of the things that people don't necessarily see, they don't necessarily like NFL and NFL prognosticators want to look at what you've done. And they're not good at projecting talent. It's the people that can project talent and develop talent that create success. And this is the reason why Eric Bieniemy comes to DC, for the opportunity to take a kid who's not had an opportunity to really thrive last year and coach that kid up and put him in position. And it's going to be one thing that's going to be definitely better than it was last year. Our offensive line is going to be better. Gibson is better, a year better. Brian Robinson is a year better. What's the name is coming off of ACL, but he was coming before he got his ACL blown up. Logan Thomas, going to be a year better. Armani Rogers was hurt, didn't play against y'all, was better. The tight end that we got, that was a pass-catching tight end, did not play much of last year because he got hurt at the beginning of the year. It's going to be better. Really, honestly, Ron and them trying to trade De'Ami Brown, which is one of our better deep threats. Okay? You come in and you got Samuel, McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson. If you look at what the people are saying in the league and know the team, your boy always says, what's the guy Orlovsky? The only person that really poo-poos the talent in Washington is Teddy Bruschi. But everybody else acknowledges the talent that they see with those guys. Jahan Dotson missed, man, like 6-7 games. I'm telling y'all right now, you see him next year, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. What's that thing?
I'm not saying, I was saying, and I'm going to get, hold on, Quinn. You go ahead, Quinn. I'm going to still get run there, but go ahead, Rebecca. Go ahead, Quinn.
I just said, I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with his game. I just looked at a quick Sam Howell deep ball. Yeah, he has some arm strength. So
Sam, if you like quiet as a cat, you going mad and you know what his arm strength is, I think he in the 90s. The Bama can throw that rock. At UNC, they put up numbers 2 years ago when they had running backs. Michael Carter, they had 2 of their running backs in the NFL, like their position players are NFL players.
Right. Yeah. I understand all of that. And I'm not poo-pooing on what Washington doing, but they're not better than the Philadelphia Eagles in no phase of the game.
Man, hey,
offense, defense, special teams.
Hey, the only thing that listen, I'm gonna tell you the only thing that y'all have is elite. Y'all have an elite center that makes y'all offensive line elite.
We got an offensive line elite, not just
your
the
offensive
center.
line
We
is
got three
elite.
Pro Bowlers
Your
on the offensive line.
Bro, say what?
Go get one.
We got 3 Pro Bowlers on the offensive line.
I said your
James
offensive line is elite.
He said elite.
What did I say to you?
Okay,
What did I say to
the
you?
line is elite.
What did I say?
The quarterback is elite.
What did I say to you?
Receivers are elite.
I didn't say they weren't elite. I just said they're not. Listen.
The whole team is freaking elite. I don't understand. The only thing we
your
lost
linebacker
is
is elite. Your linebacker is elite.
Yes,
I know. We are now. We are now because we picked some up. We are now.
I know. I'm telling you.
We are now.
He just like this.
Jacoby D.
We are now.
I think TJ
next year.
Let
I
them
can't wait the next year.
Hold on, run. Like you said, we done picked up 2 linebackers. Our defensive line rotating out. We're gonna tend to tighten
You
that
lost
up.
your best defensive lineman.
You
lost your best defensive lineman.
Well, I bet you with the lineman right now.
We didn't lose our sack leader. We didn't lose
our sack
leader.
We still got Davis.
What you say? What you say, Q?
We didn't lose our sack leader.
It's not about sacks, man.
We got
Vernon Hargraves demands a double team.
Ask Bear Watch about sacks.
Vernon Hargraves demands a double team.
And guess what? So do all of them do. So do Fletcher Cox. So do Jordan Davis. So do Jordan Davis.
Listen, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Can I say something to you? 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 We didn't play Jordan Davis that second game, so we're gonna find out the first game. First game.
Hey,
well,
guys,
I'm telling you.
Hey, man, get y'all back in this thing, guys. We don't win off 10.
3:30.
Gary, what you think, Gary? Gary, what you think? Gary didn't tell.
Well, Bear was finishing his statement about Cam. I don't think Cam is a starter in the league anymore.
Now go back, Bear. I mean, we don't
you're right. We're talking about Cam.
I'm sorry.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
I don't think he's a starter, but I think he can play. If a quarterback goes down, I think he can put the minutes in. I really do. I don't think he's bad.
Yeah, I can see him as a backup. I don't know if I see him as a starter.
I don't think there's a team that needs him to start. The only team is the Commanders, but I just saw Sam Howell, so give him time, and Atlanta, and they just got Taylor Heineke. Everyone else pretty set at quarterback.
Well, guys, cool. Well, guys, great show. We're gonna wrap it up, and again, may your next move be the game changer. Good night.